Hello everyone and welcome back to the penultimate game of Court B in the 25-26 Slater and Gordon Premiership. We join myself, Ryan Sipple, for Newcastle United Foundation versus Middlesbrough. Let's go through the squads very quickly. Newcastle United Foundation comprised of Aaron Guthrie, Kieran Steer, Ollie Crawshaw, Lee Armstrong, Sam Mackay, Matty Harrison and Cole Simpson. And for Middlesbrough, they have Ethan Galloway, James Found, Kath Goldsborough, Carl Forster, Umar Hanif, Thomas Pettigrew and Ellie Renton. Prior to game week 2 kicking off, Newcastle United Foundation were joint top of the standing, certainly with regards to point accumulation. Game week 2 has been incredibly challenging. They have lost 3 of their 3 games, so this presents the perfect opportunity to take something positive from the weekend's fixtures. Middlesbrough as well have struggled, relatively speaking, sitting on 7 points from their 9 games played. Just the draw with Sevenoaks, which was contested earlier today. Defeat to Greenbank and Teesside yesterday. Bit of a challenge, but they did get that 2-0 win over Muscle Warriors at the start of the day, so they're off the mark, and you can see they've clearly got somewhat of a buffer over the teams below them who have faltered slightly. Kicking off on Court A concurrently to this one. Sevenoaks versus Muscle Warriors, a huge fixture at the bottom of the table. 3 points for Sevenoaks, could see them go on to 5. Anything for Muscle Warriors would register their first point of the season. So many different subplots and narratives to the wider title race. Following this, we do have Leeds PFC versus Villa Rockets and Greenbank versus West Bromwich Albion Throstles. To show you the live top goal scorer charts, Dan McClellan tops the pack and will very likely do so leading into Christmas, unless Dan Rigby, Jack Maxwell and or Marcus Harrison can score 4+ goals, which, despite their immense talent, I consider very unlikely. But our teams are lined up and we are soon ready to go. Pete Taylor has Ollie Crawshaw and Umar Hanif in the centre. And we are ready for our penultimate round of fixtures in game week 2 of the 25-26 Slater and Gordon Premiership, here live at the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. At the conclusion of today's actions, we will be, as always, running our Swizzles Awards, where you can vote on who you want to acknowledge. Got Gary and Sam Mackay tuning in from afar. Sam a little bit under the weather, so wish him the best. Hope you both have a fabulous Christmas, and I'm sure top of your wish list to begin with is 3 points for Newcastle, who are under some early pressure. The lineups as we start: Ollie Crawshaw, Lee Armstrong, Cole Simpson and Kieran Steer. James Found, Umar Hanif, Kath Goldsborough and Carl Forster. It has been a really challenging weekend for Newcastle. And they'll be looking to very much right that wrong. It's not just the 3 defeats, it's the fact they've yet to register a single goal in Game Week 2. A stark contrast from what we saw in Game Week 1. But the fixture list has been rather unfair to them as Kath Goldsborough attacks into Carl Forster, cut out by Lee Armstrong. Just ricochets between Armstrong and Cole Simpson. Steer into Simpson. Just guides it down that left-hand wing, closely marshalled by Umar Hanif. On reflection, Middlesbrough will be disappointed they weren't able to get the 3 points against Sevenoaks earlier today. It was an unfortunate own goal off the back of James Found. Second time that has occurred this weekend. Cole Simpson back to Ollie Crawshaw into very congested Middlesbrough box. That's really heavy trapping. James Found on 2 wheels there. Just going to make sure he's okay. Did lift high off the ground. So we're doing the right thing, following the right procedures. Just while we're doing that, just show you the live league standings. To take that off the screen momentarily. Obviously both games on Court A and Court B currently at a deadlock, 0-0. You can see what draws would do for the end outcome. It would register Muscle Warriors' first points of the season, 9 games in. Sevenoaks would go to 3 points, but they're going to really want to secure wins as they look to hunt down GBG Knights, Middlesbrough and West Bromwich Albion Throssels. A historic win for Villa Rockets 5-10 minutes ago. To the best of my knowledge, I think it's the first time they've ever registered bragging rights over their geographical rivals in the National League, which is an unbelievable achievement for them. They've been so stubborn and incredibly hard to break down across Game Week 2. You can see the experience they have with Dave Lewis, Nicky Baker, Amit Ali, Rosie Hodgson and others. Means they're incredibly stubborn. Just bear with us while we ensure that James Found is all okay. I'm sure it was a incredibly scary coming together, but fantastic stuff from the coaches and the officials, just to focus on the well-being of the player. Both teams are gathered in team huddles, as you can see, and James Found just comes off momentarily. Just hope he's okay. Looks as if he is. And I believe Ethan Galloway will come on in his place. So Kath Goldsborough is going to now adorn the goalkeeper jersey. Let's get confirmation of that substitute when play continues. Newcastle just knocking the ball about, ensuring they're as sharp as possible when the resumption of play occurs. As always, should there be any updates on Court 8, I will bring you them as soon as possible. So Middlesbrough have officially observed that change. Ollie Crawshaw and Umar Hanif on the far side. Goes in the favour of Middlesbrough. Be interesting to see how this different look affects their tactics. So Ethan Galloway into Umar Hanif. Contact from Cole Simpson, allowed to continue. He tries to force it over the line. Very physical game, this. Umar Hanif just initially gets the better of the exchange, but can't wrap his chair around the ball to keep it in play. Umar Hanif, been so busy so far. Obviously 7 minutes played, but 5 or so of those play was halted. Fired off Ollie Crawshaw's chair. Sensible play from Hanif. Just calling Cole Forster forward into Ethan Galloway, pushes it into the path of the Northern Ireland international. And now Ethan Galloway going to try and advance all the way round the court. It's brave stuff from Middlesbrough into Kieran Steer. Worth noting, Kieran Steer and Ethan Galloway, teammates at international level. Both were part of that Scotland squad that competed in the recent 2025 Epfo Nations Cup. There'll be that familiarity there. Another former Scotland international, Thomas Pettigrew, on the bench on the far side. It's Crawshaw and Simpson combined. Simpson set away. Closed by Kath Goldsborough. Crawshaw into Carl Forster, he fires it towards Lee Armstrong for his first major involvement. Ollie Crawshaw resumes the position as the most defensive of the 4 players. So Lee Armstrong with room to roam, but much easier said than done when the opposing player is Umar Hanif. Cole Simpson yet again. Crawshaw, nice reverse pass to Cole Simpson, who takes it in reverse, engages it in the 180 across the box, blocked by Umar Hanif. Crawshaw, Simpson. Two on one in favour of Middlesbrough. Goldsborough down the court, over to Cole Simpson. A risky pass back to Crawshaw. He puts Lee Armstrong under some pressure as Cole Forster just tries to generate the pace and the angle to find a gap. Ethan Galloway, the only real option who he tries to find. Corner ball one. Kicking. Apologies. Hanif just over to give instructions. I think he wants power generated on this one. Over to Ethan Galloway. Certainly has the power, but it doesn't have the accuracy. Now Kieran Steer set away, takes it in control into the 180 across the box. That is a beautiful, clinical counter-attack goal scored by Cole Simpson. The accuracy wasn't there from Cole Forster, and what could have been a really promising attack turned into an immediate defence. Kieran Steer so patient in reverse, and Cole Simpson there to capitalise. A brilliant way to open the scoring. Newcastle United Foundation 1, Middlesbrough 0. And that's exactly what they would have wanted to do, to just halt momentum and the success that Middlesbrough were having. And now it'll be intriguing to see how they build on that. Into the box, Cole Simpson pushes it goal bound. That goal is even better than the first. Shouts of toon, toon, toon from the mezzanine above. Ollie Crawshaw, I was going to say put it on a plate. He just diagonally slots it into the box. And that is one of the best front bumper finishes I've seen in a very long time. And he has two in as many minutes. Wow. They hadn't scored in game week 2 up until this point. And now they have two within a single minute. Both scored by the front bumper of Cole Simpson, who now will be desperately wanting his hat-trick. Never ceases to amaze me, the skill some of these players have, the precision. And if you want an advert to know how useful a tool your front bumper can be, whether that's passing, whether that's shooting or more, just look at those two finishes from Cole Simpson. Yes, it needs the initial distribution and the shared understanding with teammates, but that was on show and exhibited perfectly. I'd love to see him get a hat-trick, all with his front bumper. I'd also like to see Middlesbrough grow into confidence and settle slightly. Obviously, I think they're a little bit shell-shocked. .13.5 minutes played. We will observe at least probably 5 minutes of additional time due to that earlier stoppage. Now Kieran Steer wanted to be set away, had to shift his momentum because he assumed that pass would come to him. Crawshaw into Steer. To the 180 of Crawshaw, fires it all the way down to Kath Goldsborough, who has to just block it and cushion it over to Umar Hanif, which invites the pressure of Cole Simpson. Nothing to separate the two on court A. Newcastle with bragging rights on court B. Cole Simpson just patient. Originally shaped to pass to Crawshaw, but Galloway closed that option. Probably going to opt to try and find it now. Just feints, waiting for the gap to appear. It doesn't, but wins his side the kick in nonetheless. Simpson into Crawshaw, doesn't quite have the pace or power. In addition to the placement of the players, 2-on-1 awarded in Middlesbrough's favour. Galloway Just plays it off Cole Simpson. Nice use of a back bumper there from Cole Simpson. Just pushes it over to Kieran Steer. Interesting decision for Kieran Steer to let that roll out of play. There's definitely a Middlesbrough ball. We're going to have our first Newcastle change of the fixture. Kieran Steer, with bright involvement and assist to his name, comes off. Matty Harrison, the player coming on, formerly of Middlesbrough. First involvement, trying to locate Ollie Crawshaw in a very congested, crowded Middlesbrough box. Just a bit too aggressive there. Carl Forster. Two and a half minutes of regulation time remaining, plus 5 or 6 added on. Still plenty of football to be played in this one. Hanif down to Carl Forster, tries to push it over the box, and once again a potential breakaway for Newcastle. Kath Goldsborough has to be very considerate of her placement, goes as far as Cole Simpson, bypasses her. It's a very good job that Umar Hanif was taking a position more defensively, otherwise could have very easily been a third goal across the box, blocked by Kath Goldsborough. Cole Simpson, back to Ollie Crawshaw. Just fragmented by Ethan Galloway. Across the box, blocked by the Scot. Simpson. Crawshaw, Simpson, back to Crawshaw, switches the play, doesn't have the power to locate Matty Harrison. Probably expect Crawshaw to do better there. Nice rotated spin kick from Carl Forster with the intention of locating Ethan Galloway. Cut out by the Newcastle captain. Umar Hanif, can they halve the deficit prior to the half-time break? They've got time to do so, despite it registering the end of regulation time. We had a lengthy stoppage, so still time for Middlesbrough to find a way back in it. Pete Taylor has the whistle in his mouth, 2-on-1 in favour of Newcastle. Umar Hanif slightly frustrated as to the placement of Carl Forster. Forster happy to let that roll out of play. down the court. Blocked by Lee Armstrong. Cole Simpson just signalling that an attachment's come loose. That'll be placed back on one of the back plates of the Newcastle players, or Middlesbrough players. Cole Forster Crawshaw into Simpson, over to Matty Harrison. Nice play from Galloway, back to Umar Hanif. That's better, but Cole Simpson doing a fantastic job in just breaking up the passing lanes. He's been the clear standout in this fixture. Seems to be everywhere at the moment. Crawshaw down to Simpson, across the face of goal. Matty Harrison not there to capitalise. I think Sevenoaks have broken the deadlock on court A. And confirmation of that one shortly. That's right at the end of regulation time. Of course, we're observing a considerable amount of additional time on court B. Kath Goldsborough down to Cole Simpson, Ollie Crawshaw, and that does signal the end of the first half. Clinical is probably the word I would use from Newcastle. Their moments came in a very short spell. 2 goals within a single minute, both scored by the front bumper of Cole Simpson. 2 beautiful goals at that, and that gives Newcastle the platform to secure their first win of Game Week 2. I'll be back very shortly for the second half. Hello everyone and welcome back. Newcastle United Foundation versus Middlesbrough PFC. Game week 2 of the 25-26 Slater and Gordon Premiership. Currently separated by 2 brilliant Cole Simpson strikes. Both scored within about a minute of each other. Middlesbrough have made several changes at the break, which I will confirm very shortly. It's great to see James Found back on. And Pete Taylor blows the whistle to get things underway. So Thomas Pettigrew and James Found on. So the teams in their entirety: Lee Armstrong, Ollie Crawshaw, Cole Simpson, Matty Harrison for Newcastle United Foundation, James Found, Umar Hanif, Kath Goldsborough and Thomas Pettigrew. Is it fired diagonally across the court from Kath Goldsborough. Cole Simpson does incredibly well. Kath Goldsborough unaware of his placement and advancement up the court. Crawshaw into Simpson, finds Matty Harrison, who has an attempt at goal. Trying to squeeze it through to Simpson once again. We have had confirmation of the goal in the first half scored by Sevenoaks. A huge potential 3 points for them. Bring up the live league standings at the conclusion of the fixture. But Crawshaw down to Cole Simpson, 180 across the box, doesn't have the accuracy. Secondary effort blocked by James Found. Jamie Harrison just ushering Cole Simpson down into that bottom corner. 180, no real danger. 2-on-1 in favour of Middlesbrough. Ollie Crawshaw down to Matty Harrison, who gets it via Kath Goldsborough. Out of play from Middlesbrough ball. It was very conservative, very patient from Newcastle in the first half. Almost counter-attacking football was the preference. But they did break clinically. I highly recommend you going back and watching those 2 Cole Simpson goals. Substitute for Newcastle, Aaron Guthrie features for the first time. Off comes Matty Harrison. Something that we've acknowledged in the build-up to the 25-26 season, and then our assessment of game week 1 and inevitably game week 2, that it's clear that Jamie Harrison has a core starting three in Lee Armstrong, Ollie Crawshaw and Cole Simpson, and then it's that continual rotation between who's that high and wide winger between Aaron Guthrie, Sam Mackay, Matty Harris and Kieran Steer. He tends to start with Kieran Steer, but it's not often we see Cole Simpson, Ollie Crawshaw and or Lee Armstrong come off. Crawshaw looking for that front bumper, that lethal front bumper of Cole Simpson, who's now going to try and push it over the line, just scanning around him to see what potential options are on. Ollie Crawshaw is such a good communicator, but unfortunately for him, Cole Simpson completely unaware as to the ball's placement and trajectory, rolling off the court behind him, so rolls out for a Middlesbrough ball. But yeah, Ollie Crawshaw is such a brilliant communicator. You can tell why he adorns that yellow captain's armband. Huge season for him to help Newcastle through this transitional phase, adapting to life without Ethan Fisher and Sam Smith. Umar Hanif down to Cole Simpson, all the way back to James Found. Ollie Crawshaw again, constantly instructing his teammates where to best place themselves. This time into Aaron Guthrie. Ollie Crawshaw down to Cole Simpson, flicked into the box, cleared momentarily by James Found. Crawshaw trying to work the space and opportunity. Strong coming together between Kath Goldsborough and Ollie Crawshaw. I think Ollie Crawshaw is deemed the aggressor, reversing into Kath Goldsborough, so he's given his final warning from Pete Taylor. Kath Goldsborough will take the resulting free kick, trying to locate Thomas Pettigrew. Hanif into Goldsborough. Just haven't really strung a spell of passes together that has caused Newcastle any real trouble. Until they're able to do that, Newcastle will be very comfortable with this 2-goal cushion. Score remains 1-0 on court A. I think Newcastle are just happy to preserve this 2-goal cushion. They're not looking to overcommit a great deal. And their 2 meetings in 24-25, 2-0 and 3-1 victories for Newcastle United Foundation. Substitute for Middlesbrough sees Ethan Galloway re-enter the action. Guthrie into Cole Simpson. Guthrie just wasn't necessarily anticipating that return pass coming over so quickly. And it didn't quite have the accuracy or angle, but one thing is for certain, Cole Simpson's utilisation of his front bumper is something that a lot of people could watch and learn and benefit from. "31 minutes played off of Kath Goldsborough. Sevenoaks thought they had doubled their lead. It's been chalked off via a 2-on-1, so a slight let-off for Muscle Warriors. Crawshaw into Guthrie. No real direction on that. Maybe on the second time again, just gifting possession back to Middlesbrough. On this occasion, goes back to Lee Armstrong, but too close to the receiver. Aaron Guthrie just struggling slightly to get up to the pace of the game. Decision making needs to be a little bit sharper. I think he's almost caught in 2 minds as to how to engage it. Certainly in those instances, passing it to Crawshaw or trying to thread the eye of the needle for Cole Simpson. If you hesitate for a second, you tend to find your intentions go right between the two. Spaces that are typically occupied by Middlesbrough shirts, and now he's going to pressure James Found, who be a little bit reluctant to engage in those 50-50s due to that shaky coming together with Kieran Steer in the first few minutes. Flicked to Cole Simpson, picks off to Crawshaw, trying to return the favour, but well read by Kath Goldsborough. Sensible work from Umar Hanif, just to let that roll out of play. Found into Hanif. Strong play from Kath Goldsborough. Whistle is in the mouth of Pete Taylor. Watches like a hawk. Just played off Goldsborough's bumper. Across the box, over to Aaron Guthrie. Strikes it towards goal. Nothing comes of it. Crawshaw patiently waiting, the pick off from Aaron Guthrie, no doubt intended to slot between Found and Hanif. There would have been no one there to really receive it. The angle of his chair meant couldn't attempt it goal bound, and that splitting pass likewise, no one there to receive, even if it had bypassed James Found. Crawshaw, Guthrie. Again, he has to be careful. The way he was shaped, the placement of Umar Hanif meant it was only ever going to ricochet off his chair, and fortunately for him, it just goes wide of the court. A huge potential update on Court A. Muscle Warriors have found the equaliser and are 5.5 minutes away from securing their first point of the season. Will that give them the confidence to go on to achieve even more? Substitute sees Kieran Steer come on in place of Cole Simpson. A fantastic fixture for him. Just seems to have been everywhere on the court. Of course, scored those 2 brilliant goals, which sees them command this current lead. Cole Forster also back on in place of Kath Goldsborough. Down to James Found, closed by Aaron Guthrie. Just going to try and generate the space and the opportunity. Umar Hanif so sensible with where he puts his chair, and just so good at winning those kick-ins and putting his chair in such awkward areas that means ricochets and space of the opposition is limited massively. Again, you can see Kieran Steer desperately trying to play it off at Umar Hanif, but he's too sensible, and he's happy to take a little bit of a whack there in order to win his side a free kick. 3.5 minutes to go. Newcastle almost certain to secure their first points of the weekend and end game week 2 on a high. If we assess their game week 3, they play West Bromwich Albion, Throssels, Aspire, Muscle Warriors and Greenbank. Incredibly tough 5-fixture weekend for them. Middlesbrough looking to put further distance between themselves and the relegation zone. They play Sevenoaks, Newcastle, Aspire, Teesside. Sorry, not. They play Aspire, Teesside, Leeds and Villa. So in terms of 4-fixture weekends, a few tougher, but then again, there is truly no easy games in this division. Kieran Steer back to Crawshaw, puts it back down to the Scotland international, into another Scotland international, this time Ethan Galloway. Through to Kieran Steer. James Found just clears it. Approaching the final minute, Ollie Crawshaw intercepted by Ethan Galloway, just vacates the space. Ethan Galloway most definitely trying to direct it off the Newcastle captain into Kieran Steer's 180, blocked by James Found. It's just a shame for Newcastle that this game has been dictated by a single minute of dominance and brilliance from Newcastle. Cole Simpson in the 5th and 6th minute, scoring 2 beautiful goals. Down to Galloway into the space. Carl Forster has an attempt at goal late on. Opportunity that. One of the few they've had in the game. I mean, being pushed for a player of the match, you'd be hard pressed to find a better suitor than Cole Simpson. Just those two beautiful goals. Ollie Crawshaw has been influential as ever, but it's, as mentioned, just a professional, well-drilled win and performance from Newcastle. Through the gap, was nearly there, had to be closed by Umar Hanif. We're now into additional time. I doubt very much will be added. It's Kieran Steer and Ethan Galloway battle away, and that will be the last action of the fixture and their respective weekends. Newcastle United Foundation 2, Middlesbrough 0. Still playing on court A. It's a potential break very late on. You can see that 3 points for Newcastle puts them level with West Bromwich Albion, who faltered against Villa Rockets. Middlesbrough with 7 points from their 10 games, so they have played a game more than the teams around them, 2 more than Throssell's above them. So you can see those distinctive packs starting to form. Aspire will go into the Christmas break at the top of the standings, even though Leeds and Greenbank are yet to play their final game. Huge thank you to all that have tuned in. I'm next up on Court B to watch Greenbank versus West Bromwich Albion Throstles.